Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bronx Community Board 7's General Board Meeting. Today's date is June 17th, 2025. My name is Carla Cabrera Carrera. I am the District Manager here at Bronx Community Board 7. I'll start the meeting by reading the Code of Conduct, which goes as follows. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove a board member or member of the public from a meeting for engaging in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene, threatening, or harassing language, slander, threats of violence, personal attacks of any kind, or offensive, inflammatory comments on the basis of ethnicity, race, age, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and/or disability. Members of the public who engage in any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting while at a board meeting shall be removed from the board meeting at the discretion of the chair or a chair designee. I will now open the public hearing. I will first call on Brenda Caldwell, followed by Madison Hernandez. And as I call your name, you're more than welcome to come and step up into the podium to speak. Or there's also, there's two microphones at the table, so whichever way is easier. Your cloak is with your color. Good evening, everyone. As first recognizing everyone on CB7 board, recognizing everyone on CB7 board this evening, Paula, and all those who are here. Thank you so much for the opportunity for me to speak this evening. And some of you may already know the subject that I'm going to speak of. And the subject is about Sally Paul, who is my mom and has recently passed away. Actually, it was her anniversary, June 7th, of her passing. And so I come before you on behalf of myself and my brother, Bert Caldwell, who couldn't make it here with me this evening, to bring a proposal and encourage you to be on our side in regards to doing a street naming of the park up on Mashula Parkway. The tree lighting is there by Gun Hill Road Bridge. And so the reason I come to you to say that my mom, Sally Caldwell, has been a resident of Norwood and very active. Our dear mother, Sally Caldwell, as I stated before, passed away in June. We consider it a given that such a request be made, and one we've been urged to by many in the community on what we were going to do in regards to honoring Sally Caldwell. We hope it to be granted for the enormous legacy of tireless work and advocacy that Sally Caldwell undertook in different roles throughout the years of being a part of the Gun Hill Road bid, being a part of the North Central Community CAP, being a part of the 5-2 precinct in its earlier years, and also being a part of CB7 and actually being one of the members in the earlier years. My mother was and will always, we feel, be known by generations of residents, community leaders, local businesses, elected officials, boroughs, citywide, and many more. Always, and many have known my mother as being outspoken, that she was, and speaking her mind. And also be known of her, if you was running for any office or anything, you could count on Sally Caldwell being right there with you to help you along your way of your journey. And so naming the park for her is something we seek to honor her. It's a place she often would spend time speaking with friends and people in the community. It's where she would join various vendors and organizations, providing goods, services, and other activities. And so we just hope, and this is a honor that we know that my mom would not herself would actually want, but we just feel to carry on the legacy of Sally Caldwell that I'm coming to the close right now, that we will hope that you, join us and some elected officials, in helping us to do that. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Brenda. This is just a friendly reminder for everyone who wants to speak. We are giving everyone 1 minute to make a statement. I know it seems like it's too short, but you can always send comments in writing. My email address is in the meeting packet that you all received. It's in every single one of the pages. And next we'll go with Madison Hernandez.
Thank you to the chair and members of the board for the opportunity to provide public testimony tonight. For those who don't know, my name is Madison Hernandez. I'm with the New York City Economic Development Corporation with the Government and Community Relations team. First, I want to appreciation and gratitude to this body for hearing us over the last several months and all of your thoughtful input as we move through this, express our extreme gratitude here at EDC. And as the board prepares to vote tonight, we would like to request that the community board wait to upload its recommendation to the city zoning application portal until July 18th. And we're asking this for several reasons. As outlined in the city charter, community boards usually get a full 60 days to review ULURP actions, and uploading the resolution on July 18th falls within that 60-day period. And we want to emphasize that this is a pretty common request. And on the public engagement front, this additional time will help ensure that the remaining steps in the process, like the city planning commissions and the borough president hearings, aren't happening within a condensed period of time and within the summer months where participation by the public can be quite limited, as folks are on vacation. This additional time is needed for reasons related to the final environmental review. And this allows city agencies and the whole project team the necessary time to ensure that they're refining it and developing appropriate mitigation measures within the environmental review for such a large and complex project such as this. And so I'm joined by my colleague, Joe Halpert, who's EDC's Land Use Vice President. He's going to speak a little bit about how this environmental review works and the timing and how it fits into the larger public schedule that we're talking about. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Madison. As Madison said, I'm Joe Halferty. I'm a VP with the Land Use Division at EDC, and I've been working with Madison and the recruitment team, as well as countless others at EDC, to support this project through the public approval process, including ULURP.
Louder.
Sorry, louder? I'll lean it.
Wait, hold on. We have a microphone.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. The microphone.
Apologies.
Anybody who's over 60.
Great. So as many of you know, on May 19th, the Cambridge Armory application was certified by the Commission. And this certification really kicks off the formal beginning of the ULURP process. And at that time, a draft environmental impact statement was also completed. So at the highest level, that EIS, environmental impact statement, it usually accompanies these land use applications through the public review process. And its real purpose is to disclose what the effects of a given land use might be on the community. So this was referred to the community board at the same time as the land use application for your review. So throughout ULURP, these two documents really move side by side and in parallel through that public review process. And again, they're really intended to inform community boards, council member, borough president's office, and the planning commission, through their decisions in the ULURP process. Now, typically during ULURP, a lot of work is done in the 8 or so months that an application is going from certification to the final vote by the council. And this is really work that it's building on and refining further what came out of the TEIS. So we really work closely with the various agencies, the development team, and specialized instances to refine these analyses and explore ways to mitigate or lessen the potential for any negative impacts on the project. So finally, this process of the environmental impact statement, 10 days before the city planning commission votes, is the release of the FEIS, the final environmental impact statement. So at this point in time is when the environmental impact statement would be complete and made available to the public, in order for the CPC to vote.
And I just want to close with saying that we're very excited to hear the board vote today, and see this project move forward. But just want to ask once again respectfully for the board to consider that the district manager and the board submit the actual resolution onto the portal on July 18th. So vote today and then submit on the 18th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here from.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Jatan Horseman, Director of Planning and Development, Bronx, for President in the Sigurdsson. So I'm also just here to support EDC's request of pushing having the vote tonight and then submitting on the 18th to allow the time for them to review as well, making sure there's no issues. I think also wanted to recognize how efficient Community Board 7 is and has been in this process, acknowledging that, because I think that you all will say sitting on the application for a few weeks is really a product of your own success of how efficient you've been in this. So I want to recognize that and say thank you to the board, making sure that you have your agency and being able to submit recommendations when you can. So really just thanking you as well as requesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Councilmember Lewis, followed by Councilmember Oswald.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm just so thankful and excited and thankful that we are at this milestone today, where we're voting to the Kingsbridge Armory redevelopment. It is not just 2 or 3 years in the making, but almost 30 years in the making, and I just wanted to take this moment to thank everyone who's been a part of all of the community engagement, whether you started last year or 3 years ago or 30 years ago, particularly to the culture and the Together for Kingsbridge process, and also from CV and Clergy Coalition, Executive Director Sandra Lobo, but all of the members working with Community Board 7, of course, was a key part of that process. Thank you for everything that you've done. We have a guest today joining us, Fernando Ortiz. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you did to get us here, even though you were like, bye. But we appreciate you. So that's first. I also want to take a moment to underscore what Jatan Horseman said from the Borough President's Office, who, by the way, has the best name in city government. But I just also agree with EDC. We want to give as much space and time for engagement as possible on the Kingsbridge Armory within the constraints of the ULURP process. So please, to the board, we will agree in to ask you to vote yes. And yeah, we have a festival this Thursday for Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. At Hal Knell's Playground. It's not in city, so it's 65, but we will be there celebrating 12-4. And then on Saturday, what is time, right? What is it? I know we're somewhere. No, it is first. Okay, yes. I forget, it was St. James Park, the Summer Festival, I'm sorry. So that's gonna be from 12-4, and I hope to see folks there. And Tuesday, there's this little thing happening on Tuesday that will determine the future of our city. We hope that you all participate. That's why I don't have a voice, my voice is usual, but yeah, plug for people to participate on Tuesday's election. Okay, thank you all.
Next, we'll hear from Councilmember Leibowitz, followed by Councilmember Lee, followed by Senator Gustavo Dugan.
Go,
What?
you go.
Here I go. This is the worst night of my life is when Councilmember Sanchez said we're joined by a rock star. I stood up in my chair.
And then she said someone else's name, and it was very, very disappointing. That's all right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Aaron with City Councilor for the 11 districts. As it relates to the Armory, very important. It's right across the street. The Armory is at the very end. Councilmember Sanchez's district, and across the street is me. It is wonderful to be here. A few things coming up. One, last time I was here, short fire detectors in your apartments. Detectors are not readily available, they're gonna be fined, there's some for not being compliant to something that they are unable to comply with. So next week, at the next state meeting, we're gonna be voting on my bill, which will extend the deadline. I'm currently negotiating with exactly what the legislation looks like. But the plan for that is by the end of the month, vote on it, extend the deadline. So anyone who knows this issue, or if you don't know, it's gonna hit you anyway, breathe a sigh of relief once this bill is passed. Are you laughing at me, Councilor, please? This is the best bill. This is what I'll say, the most recent bill, anyways. The most recent stuff. We certainly, been around the district, I've been encouraged to follow me on social media. Out is on the table out there is my card. And I encourage you to go to the website, it says ericdinowitz.nyc/newsletter. So you know what's going on, or what I'm up to in the community, not just legislation that I passed, but we were, all the students were supporting in the community. And we'll be going to the graduates, of course, to support our students. Just a few things, other things coming up. On June 26th, we have our annual Family Fun Day at Williamsbridge Oval Park. It's June 26th from 3 to 6. I encourage you to take flyers, those are also outside. They have things like big chests and like inflatable things where you can jump. I see the kids down there, I still know the Bronx want to go. And it's really a lot of fun, we do it every year. And we are still solidifying the dates for our second annual movie series at Williamsbridge Oval. Let's make sure everyone knows it's budget time. Councilmember Felice, Councilmember Sanchez and I really are trying to fight for a budget that really reflects our values, making sure our libraries, schools get the funding, the senior centers get the funding that they need, because these are the things that we all cherish in our community. And they're so special in our community. Lastly, I just want to let you know, that's been, I guess, reported on, and then I haven't seen it in a while. But it's called the Mayor's Charter Revision Commission. And there are a number of proposals, there's a preliminary report, proposals, which look to take power away from community boards and which look to take power away from your local council members. And as we get more details of this, I want you to pay attention, because when it comes to things like the ULERT, think about all the amazing work Councilmember Sanchez has done on behalf of the community. Because when there's a zoning change or when there's a ULERT that comes before the council, and she's able in part to do that amazing work on behalf of all of you, the people she represents, because of this vote. And there are efforts to chip away at the community board's voice and the voices of the council, the people who represent you in this charter revision. I encourage all of you, again, to sign up for my newsletter where we send out information, but also to look this up and look at how the proposals would take away your voice, which I think would be, a real tragedy. Because that's all we really have in our democracy is our voice. And I think we have the right to determine what the fate of our own community looks like, to have a voice now. So thank you everyone so much for your time. Thank you, Carla, I appreciate it. What are you?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next, we have Also Denise, founder by Senator Gonzalez. Moved by Howard Johnson, Chairman Jose Doris.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councilmember Ross, please, good to join all of you. Just want to start by thanking all of you for being here today and for being a part of this. It is Tuesday evening, all of you have been doing so many other different things, and you decided to spend it here, giving back to your community, just making sure that we're all working together to resolve local issues that our neighbors are facing. Just want to start by thanking all of you for being here and for also being a part of this board. I'll be fast and we have a very lengthy agenda, so I'll briefly start by talking about things that I have been prioritizing the past 3 years and also accomplished, but also things that we're currently working on. So things that we're working on. So as we all know, 3 years ago, one of the top issues that this community board, the people of this community board were raising was the Kingsbridge underpass. As we know, you couldn't even walk through that underpass. Today, you could walk through that underpass. It is a completely different underpass. And I'm saying this because not only have we made progress, but because, at any point we go backwards, right? So it's important that we stay on top of it. So I just want to thank you all for all the work that you did on that. We're going to continue to monitor that. The conditions of the underpass were unacceptable, and today we made a lot of progress. Also, things that we were working on. Also, about 2 or 3 meetings ago, we had conversations about the transitional housing on Bainbridge Avenue. I know all of you gave that proposal a hard no. I'm glad to report that that proposal is fully off the table now. We no longer have to worry about it. So that's another. Now, things that we're currently working on, as my good colleague, Councilmember Dinowitz, mentioned, currently we're working on the city budget. Should be a very large budget. Some of my goals for this budget is to be able to bring $2 million for PS 54 on Webster Avenue, to renovate their playground in the back. PS 54 has received a lot of different renovations, including the playground at the front, also brand new auditorium. Now we're hoping to bring $2 million to fully redo their playground on Webster Avenue. Also, on the issue of capital improvements, about a year and a half ago, I was able to bring about $8 to $9 million to redo the center of Pool Park and also the area where we have a bandstand. I know it's been a very lengthy process. Parks Department could work very slow in terms of capital improvements, but we should be able to start renovations hopefully in early 2026. We're going to stay on top of it, make sure that Parks Department doesn't come back and say, hey, we need an additional 6 months for anything else. We're going to be on top of it, but hopefully we should start renovations early 2026, and that's going to again include a complete full renovation of the middle of the park, which includes the children's playground, and also the side on the left side of the park we have bandstand. So that's on the budget. Also legislation, and then I'll conclude again, and we have a very lengthy agenda. As council member, one of my biggest legislative priorities have been issues related to fires and specifically e-bikes. 3 years ago, 2-ish years ago, I passed legislation requiring that those that are selling e-bikes sell only the UL certified e-bikes. About 2 years ago, we were averaging about 200 to 300 fires every single year, putting not only people's lives in danger, but also their homes and much more. We saw the tragedies. So we were able to pass that legislation, which took effect about 2 years ago. Our work on that is not done. This coming stated budget, June 30th, if I'm correct, we're going to be passing, if we're able to reach an agreement with the mayor, but I think we're there already. We should be reaching an agreement with the mayor, and I should be passing my second or third package of legislation, which includes ensuring that the different apps, including DoorDash, Grubhub, etc., they also help us resolve this issue by giving safe and certified e-bikes to the workers. They have the biggest market here, and they shouldn't just be making all the money in the world and then just ignoring the issues that we see. Again, 200 to 300 fires every single day in our homes. So we should be hopefully passing that. You're the first to hear it, by the way. I just got off the phone with some of the city council ledge people. Should be passing that this June 30th. Also, another priority for me is that issue that we had at the underpass, but I guess on a broader scale, because the underpass was only one example. We actually have that same example, including in Echo Park, Tremont section, Gladwin Park, and even in the South Bronx, St. Mary's Park, they have the same issue. So I'm working to pass legislation. Already introduced it. We had a hearing, and we're just negotiating the specifics of it.
working on legislation to number one, make sure that we all help with the cleanups, including those who are giving out syringes. But also make sure that we're not doing these things right next to parks. Why would anybody want to give 100 meals a day inside a park? That's not acceptable. So we're working on those two pieces just to make sure that what we had at the underpass, so make sure that we don't have it there anymore, but also in other parts of the district, which we. That concludes my report. Thank you so much, everybody, again. Yeah, look forward to continuing, working together on the many future fights over the Thank you.
Councilor Jose Torres, followed by Isabella Abreu.
Good evening, everyone. Obviously have a lengthy agenda and very important agenda, so I will just do a couple of updates. A session is still ongoing for the Assembly, but the Senate finished last week. And it was a very challenging year, to say the least, but certainly there were a couple of things I was able to get over the finish line, but I gotta wait until the Assembly gets their work done to see if I actually get some of the stuff signed. But back in the district, obviously, which is why I come back in the community boards as well as doing community events. So I have a couple of those coming up. For the summer, you should know that our office will switch to a bi-weekly newsletter from June 27th to September 5th. So we usually do them weekly, but we're gonna do them bi-weekly. And we're gonna be doing free immigration assistance with NIMIC. We still have that happening in my office, and we do that by appointment only. Please call us to get an appointment. As also, we're doing our first ever blood drive, which will be Thursday, June 26th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So please call us to get more information on that. And I have my annual health fair, senior health fair and luncheon, which will happen on July 10th. So certainly for seniors, I'm already doing kind of rounds of all the different senior centers, letting everybody know that it's happening and hoping that they can stop by. Again, it's July 10th. We'll make sure that you have the information. I'm going to be hosting that along with Councilmember Pereira Sanchez. And it's always a great time. So we'll make sure that we get you the information. Hopefully we can get, but you have to make sure that you RSVP. Want to make sure we have chairs for everybody, food for everybody, etc. You should, now obviously, as I said, things have been a little challenging lately. There is one thing that we managed that we prepared in my office, which we can make available to everybody. We've not only been organizing, get a right to know, getting know your rights workshops. So we want to make sure, as we've seen the type of thing that happens, what ICE is doing in our city. Obviously, we saw earlier what happened when they arrested the controller of the city of New York when he was simply accompanying somebody who had just left a hearing, an immigration hearing, had their case dismissed and was being arrested for no reason. The council member, the controller, just basically was asking for a warrant. He was arrested for that. He was released a little bit later, but obviously it's something that is still happening in our neighborhoods today. We prepared a card, which is a card that has know your rights, know what your rights are. If ICE knocks on your door or your neighbor's door, we have them both in Spanish and English, as well as a part of the card which could be broken away to actually be able to give to an ICE agent if somebody approaches you. We have that available in the office. We've made plenty of copies and we can make them available to you. Please follow up with my office so we can get those to you. We also, let me see a couple of extra things. Certainly, we actually have the New York City's Department of Health launched a syringe redemption pilot to safely tackle syringe litter, spearheaded by Councilmember Diana Ayala, but we actually are doing it up here in the Bronx as well. As Councilmember Feliz said, there's obviously been issues about folks who are using drugs in public as well as that underpass. I've been working consistently with a lot of the providers who are doing the cleanup there, as well as with the providers who are doing some of this the syringe exchange and providing services for the folks there to make sure that we have that underpass is safe in the park as well. And we're continuing to do that to make sure that we can hear the concerns of the community and get providers to provide services where are necessary to the folks who are having these issues. So last thing I would say, there's actually You know where my office is located, 2432 Grand Concourse, fifth floor of the Poe Building. As I always say, it is not my office, it is yours, so please visit us and let us know if you need anything from us. Last thing I wanted to do before I leave, where is Miss Jean Hill? Now, I get to do something every year. There's two things that I get to do in Albany that I really enjoy because it involves community members directly, and that is choosing a veteran for the Veterans Hall of Fame, the New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame, and a woman of distinction. And this year, I was very honored to have Jean Hill come up to Albany with her daughter to celebrate with us, and I wanted to actually give her. I mean, it's like, more importantly, you, and I wanted to make sure that you had these, because I have to honor her. So again, once again, thank you so much for the time, and just one more thing, I'm certainly, very excited about what's happening with this vote that you're gonna do a little bit later today, and, please know that this is, and I know that basically everyone in the room knows this, we've gotten very, very far, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you to get over the finish line, so thank you for that, and back to you.
You know what? We're gonna thank the CDC for having me today. Basically, I'm also representing the 52nd Precinct, Community Affairs Office. And in the pamphlets that you mostly have, probably all of you have, page 4, we have some stats that I wanna go over. I'm gonna go over the system measures. We have 28-day, year-to-date. For murder, we went down from 1 to 4, from 1 this year, 4 last year. For rape, it was 639. For we went down 30, very well, pretty much. For felony assault, we went up 76 compared to last year. And that has a lot to do with our domestic violence, assaults, but usually like strangulation, anything, using an object to hit someone that's with my phone stop. Who's well, it's on my name. Oh, but it's not my name. Thank you. So basically, the domestic violence unit is seen last year. Grand larceny, 59 to 73 last year, so down, so going down. And grand larceny always we went up so it's 29 this year, 25 last year. And those are the 8-day numbers, and you guys will have them. So, moving on to reporting crimes, there's a scan QR code in the pamphlet, to report crimes. And in order to correctly report a crime, and for us to address this properly, you need, for everyone to really go into detail about what you're reporting, where your location is very important, give a really exact description. And as much as sometimes we don't want to give our name and number, just so you know, it's very helpful to police officers to be able to contact that person and call the crime was submitted, maybe you observed it, because sometimes you need a little more additional information in order to properly go into detailed description, give some information of yourself. A good number to call back in case you need further information. Going on to the events, we had a autism walk at the 52nd Precinct last week, and we had a lot of help from the Clergy Coalition. I want to thank them and recognize them for all the help that they provided for that day. It was over 200 kids that came to us. We were able to produce candy, ices, bouncy houses. It was a really nice event. We had music going. It was a very nice event. Asmi was there. Thank you for your help too. As you know, there was a lot of, without your help, it's harder for us to do these events. So to have great success as we do. You know, and again, it's all thanks to your efforts that, you know, if you wanna join us in future events, we do have, one event later on. It's an opportunity for everyone to, and you just personally, you know, you can have, you know, we usually do hot dogs, we also have popcorn, we do a bunch of fun things, we have some raffle giveaways. It's like that, it's pretty nice, so it's gonna be hosted this year as it was last year as well. In Oak Park from 3:30 to 7 p.m. Again, it's August 5th for National Night Out, but before that, I also wanted to make aware, I left some flyers out there, I don't know if there's enough for everyone. But we do have a community council meeting coming up, and it's gonna be hosted at West Cambridge Road. And it's gonna be for June 26th. So I encourage everyone, if you have any questions, concerns, you wanna bring up to our attention, the CO, the inspector from our command is usually there. And in his absence, sometimes the executive officer is there, so someone high up in the ladder, in this precinct will be there. And it's great to direct your questions to them because they will give you what we're able to do for you in any cases you might present to us, but. I wanna thank everyone for having me here today, and, my name is Officer Torres, if you guys wanna take down my email, I'll produce an email, it's Jose, Jose. Dot. NYPD.org, 0560. So if you have any questions, concerns, my number, 917-825-0560. Officer Torres, all right? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Followed by Christian Gals.
Hi, my name is Bella Brandon, and I'm going to be a member. So, and first, first, I want to acknowledge the previous speakers and their speeches. But today I want to speak to you all about our local train stations in the community board, particularly the Kingsbridge Road Station, which, from my observation over the past year or so, has become a rather unsafe environment that I feel is a poor representation of our community. The Kingsbridge area, which not only has a large population of young students and all schools in the area, but also nearby church. So the area visited by many people. In the area, you can become even more risky. As a student, with realizing all of the issues in the train station, I resorted to going to some train stations, keeping my Omni card in my hands, so I took out my wallet, and sometimes completely moving like you knew. In an attempt to avoid seeing visibly substance dependent people while trying to take the train. And the symbols would be onto the floor at the entrances of both side entrances of the station, don't make it any better. And as an incoming high schooler, I'm aware that this will impact my community and will make my community longer, to reroute it or. So it's also my normal and easier commute otherwise. And I'd like to know if there's anything that we could do to remedy this situation, maybe if we can run the challenge.
Thank you, Isabel. I wanted to refer everyone in your packet on page 5 is a QR code on how you can report public drug use and licensed cannabis shop. The city does rely on 311 numbers. So if you see drug use in progress, you can call 911. If something has already happened, you can submit a complaint via 311. You do not have to give your information, although it will be helpful. You can always reach out to the community board and say, this is the 311 I submitted for public drug use. Here's the picture, and we'll make sure that we follow with transit and sure that they keep an eye out at this station. Next, we'll hear from Christian.
My name is Christian Ramos, to report to our elected officials. Also as a small business owner, I'm a member of People Merchant Association. I have two things to say. The first one is invite to everyone to our discount, a little discount that we're gonna have in different parts of merchant, different stores. We're gonna have this summertime start Friday. For 2 weeks to have a 10% discount. So many on the store, the grocery, the discount store, the bodegas. But I would like to you guys enjoy this particular discount. I enjoy the time with our corridor. As a member of the Peace Merchant Association, we like to show today that we are part of the Peace Virtual. So we like to you guys enjoy that part. The second part that I would like to share ask you, this Sunday we're gonna have a big festival that everybody knows, United of Bodega, Los Trigueros, Israel Merchant Association too. We elected officials too, we're gonna have a big event. Last year they did already, the 24 was accepted, there was permit for this, elected officials given permit for this, the city given permit for this. So this Sunday, right on June 22nd from 12 to 6, we're gonna have a big event. When I say big, we're gonna have a DJ Adonis there. I believe everybody knows that. So my recommendation as our small business owner, because we don't, our teenagers might have to do. Mr. Hall is gonna be around, everybody is gonna be behind it, and all part. Make sure our precinct 52, 46, precinct 48, 46, make sure to protect our children, our families, our merchants around, all the families gonna be there Sunday. Hope everybody gonna have a fun moment, nice moment for everyone. For the community, for the merchants, hopefully our precincts will do to protect and save our neighborhood. 22nd from 12 to 6. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carla.
It's 7:28. We're now closing the public hearing. Please remain silent once the meeting begins. There will be no further comments from the public. Madam Chair.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to tonight's CD7 General Board meeting. This is the last one for our session meeting as chair of Community Board 7. Tonight we will be having elections and our agenda is really packed. We have a time limit to leave this auditorium by 9 p.m. So we're gonna move along pretty fast. We get to have people speak. We do it here to stick to the time frame because we do have to be out for 9 p.m. With that being said, we'll start off with the part of the agenda, and I will pass it on to Carla for the different managers updates.
Thank you. If everyone please join me as we present our chair with tokens of appreciation. I would first like to first thank our board members for their service and commitment to our district. Thank you for showing up and actively participating in conversation. Stephen Ochoa Camacho is moving on from the community board. His last day is June 27th. We will have an opening. During his time with us, he spearheaded our weekly newsletters, drafted documents, created our monthly meeting packets, managed our internal budget, overflow, maintain our community bulletin, and that's just among some of the tasks that he had, and he would like to say a little something to all of you before he departs.
It was really great working with all you guys.
Thank you, and now we'll go ahead and recognize our outstanding chairperson, Yahara Arias. Thank you for your service, contributions, tireless efforts, and commitment to our districts.
Here, everybody, it's been the joy of my I joined this community 10 times, and I'm grateful to be a part of this. There's a lot of people here, elected officials, that we deal with Carla, Stephen, Christiana, all older staff members who are not here, the board anymore. We've grown so Bronx has. And so, and I will be remiss if I don't thank one person. He was a former council member, now he's a congressman, Richie Torres. He gave me the opportunity to be on this board, so I thank him. Richie. To all the board members, thank you for teaching me everything that I know. For those that former district managers, new district managers, staff, friends, you guys are family to me. My family who's here seeing me for the first time and the last time. I don't really. Thank you all. I appreciate it. I'm not going away for good, but I'm passing this switch along because we do need to have your leadership and we have to keep going. So thank you, and I'm so proud of this board.
So I met Tyra not in this community, we met actually at a law firm in 42nd Street, practicing law. And I learned a lot of things about Jahaira. Number one, that we actually live right next to each other, you on 132nd Street, me on 184th Street. But I also learned about your passion, and this is just an example of your passion. So thank you for spending so much time getting to this community. All my colleagues in the council, if you could join me, I want to present to you this proclamation.
El ángel estaba en
Literalmente 20 seconds.
How about if you like? Let's I'll talk long the street. Then we're gonna go in the back. Okay.
Moving in? All right. In here? Yeah. I think they're prospects on it. She's gonna kill me. But I just wanted to acknowledge a couple things because it's so much. It's 10 years of service on the board, 3 years of service as the chair of the board, because time flies. 30 general board meetings facilitated, 20 housing, land use, economic development meetings facilitated, and just available 24/7 to Carla, to me, to everyone on this board. Thank you, Aisha, who is our former district manager, Aisha Bravo, for supporting Jahira's leadership, and Jahira, thank you for your service and for how you have managed this board. Ain't nobody cut me off so fast like Jahira, so thank you so much. Well, now, more speeches.
I was gonna say thank you, which is about 3 seconds.
Thank you. Agenda. I think I can hear me, so moving on to the chair's report. Our agenda is packed, we have so much going on, but my last report, I would like to say that the Kingston Armory has become the heartbeat of this board this past year. So we have a couple of motions on the board that we have to deal with. We've had amazing presentation from developers in our district who have had the right to build, and they have promised to continue to come and have conversations with us. One is Rain, and the other one is the Villa Avenues project that's coming along. These projects are being up and running in 2027. Also in conjunction with the Kingston Charter, so we're gonna have a lot of things going on throughout our district. Please keep in mind that these things are gonna happen, and like Carla said, any issues, any problems, we're here to help. This board has always been a helpful board, and we take a lot of pride in that, so continue to do so. Moving on, we're moving on to the other who's nominated to be the chair. Coming in, for the roll call and attendance.
Eddie Arce, Sophie Baker, Andrew Carter, Annie Cordy, Sandra Erickson, Alfred Grant, present. Noel Green, present. Eileen Hartman Kanowski, Jean Hill, present. Alicia Nicole Polia, Andrew Leosa, present. Stephen Bogart Laval, present. Jesus Lopez Denson, present. Marcus McCarty, Diana Peña, Edgar Ramos, present. Robin Roland, present. Royer, Esme Satsurlo, present. Mamadou Savanet, present. Barbara Stronzer, Gwen Thomas E. Adeline Walker Santiago, Jake Wilson, present. Bernard Wright, present. Diana Arias, present. Quorum.
Thank you, everybody. Moving on, we have elections for the executive body of Community Board 7. We do have one change to the agenda. The constraints, I am putting a motion on the floor for the vote for the executive body to be done at this place. Do I have a second?
Second.
Jesus Lopez Johnson, Chair of the London Committee. As you've heard, we have a packed agenda, it's the time, to that is so as it seems. So I have motion to open elections.
Most of them should be
Okay, so we're, right now, we'd like to give the opportunity to candidates to introduce themselves to the board and to the public. So we'll start out with Louis Sackles, who is for the position of chair.
Okay, yes, you. Yeah, we can. Once over here.
and say hello, everybody. Before I begin, I just want to say shout out to Isabella. I met her earlier this year. She was like, being here, obviously awesome overall. But hello, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Leudis. I also go by Lou. That's Leu. I've been on Community Board 7 since 2019. I've served on the Parks and Recreation Committee, and I currently chair the Education, Youth, and Libraries Committee, and serve on the Executive Committee as well. I was raised in this district. I've lived here since at least 1998, and in the Morris and 196 area, and I share a lot of the questions, concerns, and fears that a lot of you also have. While the changes, good and bad, happening in this district, I'll say that as a board, we have duties that we've signed up for, and as chair, I am committed to ensuring that we continue to perform these duties, but also broadening our reach and reaching more people. I think that more people should be able to find us and get the resources they're entitled to. More people need to know what's happening around them, what developments are going up, when the closest resource fair is, which is Saturday, June 28th at Pool Park. And more people need to know what to do when they see something wrong. So something as simple as filing a 311 complaint and sharing the report number with us so we can hold agencies accountable. This is something that affluent neighborhoods excel at, and there's no reason why we shouldn't. I guess now more than we need a strong and self-supported in the community we represent. I'm committed to working with everyone as partners collaboratively to, make sure not only that people are being heard, but that they're being served as well. So I welcome your vote. Thank you.
We'll hear from Barbara Stronza, who's running for position of the vice chair.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a long-term board member. The first 20 years of my life was in South Fort Mary. Many changes in the last couple of years. For a long period of time, things were very stable in Bronx. Now we have a huge amount of development going on. And as board members, we have to be sure that we get the city services that accompany all these developments. There's been a big change. The fact that we've lost many of the older private homes, and then you see these huge buildings going up in their place. Parking is a major issue in the area, as well as the delivery of many of the city services. And I plan to, in the future, work on increasing these services in the area, and especially as Parks Chair, trying to get more funding for the parks.
We'll hear from Robin Roland, who is running for the position of second vice chair.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robin Roland. I've been on the board for approximately 2 years plus. I've been on the safety and quality of life committee. I'm a lifelong Bronx resident. I lived right 2 blocks from the Kingsbridge Armory for about 25 years. I grew up in the time of the Bronx when we had a bookstore, Grand Concourse. I went to a dance school on the Grand Concourse. Bronx to be better. I'm committed to serving my community. I'm going to be here. I'm not leaving. I'm also a board member of the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition. It's a powerful organization which is doing a lot for the community. I'm a member of I volunteer with the Bronx Rural Alliance. I'm committed to relieving underdogs. The Bronx is underdog, but has a lot of people like to write the Bronx off and say, oh, they think about the Bronx with the burning buildings and everything bad, but there's so much in the Bronx, and I believe that through, engaging the community and being here, that we could do a lot of the great with the Cambridge Armor. It took 30 years, but with persistence and tenacity, we are prevailing. So, thank you for hearing me. I'm gonna be here. I'm committed to uh, engaging the community, and I'm committed to be the best that can be. Thank you.
Third vice chair.
Good evening all, my name is Jean Hill. I am a long-term Bronx resident, although I am originally from Northern USA. And well, everybody, we have one of the best boards. Yes. Also want you to understand, when you make that commitment to come into work, you may not understand fully of what all the duties are gonna front you and the issues that's going to confront you as we have to deal with the search market right now. But we want you to know, when you make that commitment, we're here to help work it. When I first came to the board, I didn't know nothing about what community boards did. It was the old members who were here, they kind of ushered me in, explained the process to me, told me what a community board was about, working with DMs who, really help enforce you as the chairperson and really give you that push forward. And so I want you to understand, however you think you come to this board, and you may not understand all of it, and both of you, we're here for you, we're here to work with you. We need you to understand what you have to confront and deal with. And we hope that your time at this board, as mine has been, all of you, a very, very pleasant and working thing to do for our communities. Because when it all comes down to it, no matter where you come from, who your background is for, we all live in this community and we fight together. We fight for our community and community, no matter what. So thank you all.
Bernard, right, who's running for the position of secretary.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bernard Wright. I'm the intern chairman for the Veterans Committee. I'm also an honorably discharged veteran. I've been here about 2.5 years to the community board. I did it to learn some information, to find out how I can be the best service to my community. I enjoy being here. I enjoy working with my colleagues. There's no I in team, and it's been a thrill. I enjoy information. I decided to step up and be a better part of Community Board 7. I enjoy collecting data. I did that in the military and also with my small business. I'm a mobile food vendor, and I enjoy writing down numbers, and I retain information for the most part, to the best of my ability. And I think if I could be of more help to the community board and to the community, I would like to do that if given the opportunity, if I'm being able to. So if I could be of more help, then I'm your guy. So thank you for allowing me.
Senator Edgar Ramos, who is running for the position of member at large.
Good evening all. Okay, have a good night. It's a beautiful location being here at the Zappa Gardens. I used to come here when I was a little kid. Here, Bronx Zoo, oysters. I mean, we have a lot in our communities to take advantage of. You just have to know that it's there and take the time to do it. I've been lucky to be in the Stayworks since 1977. I've been hanging out with the board, I guess, since about 2006. About 2006. That's not coming. There was the older hierarchy here, and I became a member in 2016. I was hoping they would, use a different title, but it was Terry, Sergeant at Arms, member at large, I didn't want to back out. Well, I'll hold that position. The chair for traffic and transportation for a couple of years, and I've done a bunch of different things for the board. And then I'm official, so local 3-member, so about labor, so thank you. Happy to be here. So now we're gonna take a vote to accept the slate. 6, man.
Like motions to accept the slate.
Second.
And your okay. So Levis Costa approves, Sasha Andrews, Larry Arce, Toby Buford, Bonjour Charlie, Kamali Corey, Alfred Grant, Lo Green, Gene Hill, Andrew Leoso, Stephen Bogart Ball,
Approved.
Jesus Lopez Johnson, Ramos, Robin Roland, Esmin Satsurdo, Mamadou Salone, Paul Swanzer, Glenn Thomas Steve, Ulrika Ventura, Adeline Walker Santiago, Jake Wilson, Bernard Ray, Yahya Arias, motion approves unanimous.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the new executive board members for Bronx Community Board 7.
Thank you.
Moving on to, in our agenda, we're moving on to motion A, and this is brought by the Ad hoc Violence Committee. Andrew?
Keep it simple. The motion is to accept the proposed changes to Bronx Community Board 7 bylaws.
23 and 24 in your packet. 23 through 26.
Second.
Second.
You seconded.
Alright. Okay. Any discussion, motion? To be clear, we have what is the current bylaws information and what we are, and what the ad hoc committee is proposing. So this is what we're voting on. Only 2 of the documents were discussed. Any questions, discussion? We're gonna take a vote, Louis?
Okay, so motion to accept the proposed changes to Bronx Community Board 7's bylaws. Right, so vote. Bernard. Okay, Costa approves, Sasha Andrews, Larry Arce, Toby Buford, Bonjour Charlie, Benjamin Corley, Alfred Grant, Joe Green, Gene Hill, Andrew Leoso, Stephen Bogart Lebeau, Jesus Lopez Johnson, Edgar Ramos, Rob Roland, Esmin Satsurdo, Mamadou Salome, Paul Swanzer, Glenn Thomas Steve, Ulrika Ventura, Adeline Walker Santiago, Jake Wilson, Bernard Wright.
Approve.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yahya Arias. Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to the second motion is from Parks, Recreation and Cultural Affairs. And this is to send a letter to Bronx Parks Commissioner Jasenia Hoffman to request for the football field at the Williamsbridge Oval Park to be repaired. Barbara?
Good evening, we have received a request to send a letter to the Bronx Parks Commissioner regarding the condition of the field at Williamsbridge Oval. The field is used for football and soccer. It's an NHL turf or artificial field, and we understand that the field is draped around central area and it also lacks lines, and we are concerned about the some type of, the teams are still using the field in the condition that it's in. So we would like to send this letter to Bronx Parks Commissioner on day to request the repair of the football and soccer field at Williamsbridge Oval Park. Second?
Second.
Any questions? Vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so. Great. The motion is letter to the Bronx Parks, sending out only to the plus the repair. Football field that we need to move the park. We have a motion. All right. Andrews. The yard city. Cody Buford. Margot Sorry. Low Green.
Approved.
Gilson.
Approved.
Stephen Hobart Gold.
Approved.
Jesus Lopez Johnson. Edgar Ramos. Robin Roman. Esme Saturdo. Manu Savane. Marcus Johnson. Gwen Thomas Eve. Julieta Ventura. Adeline Lopez Santiago. Jake Wilson. Bernard Wright.
Approve with questions.
Yes. Right, it should pass.
Okay, moving on, motion C is from the executive to send a letter opposing a conditional adult use retail cannabis dispensary application on 3010 Joe Mountain, 1468. Proximity to a place of worship. This is on page 28. Any questions? Discussion? Take a vote.
Okay, here we go again. Larry Santosa approves. Tasha Andrews. Betty Arce. Tony Buford approves. Manju Chari. Kamali Gordon. Alfred Grant. Low Green. Dean Hill.
Approved.
Andrew Leo. Stephen Hobart Gold. Jesus Lopez Johnson.
Approves.
Edgar Ramos.
Stays.
Robin Roland. Esme Saturdo. Sorry. Thank you. Mambu Savane. Marcus Johnson. Tom Steve. Liga Ventura. Hannah Rose Thiago. Jake Wilson. Bernard Wright.
Approve.
Yahya Arias. Should pass.
City of Menard Development Corporation, New York City Department of Administrative Services, ULIP application to the New York City Department of City Planning for land use actions to facilitate the redevelopment of the Kingsbridge Armory with the attached public comments. And from the public session earlier, EDC made a request to delay uploading the resolution to the portal to July 18th, pending the final environmental impact statement. This request now comes to the board. Would you like to amend the motion? And if so, please raise your hand. Becker?
I'd like to amend the motion on the floor and add the part about the, request for the, submission to be pushed into July instead of being immediately, yeah, sent in.
Do we have a second? Now we have a second, any discussions? Anybody has a question, wants to discuss it? Toby?
So are we voting today to move forward, or are we voting today to delay?
Thank you. Just for clarification, the original motion is the approval of the project. Right, my motion, right, is to just delay the introduction of that motion until July. So my motion is separate from the original motion. So first, we're voting on delaying it before we actually vote on the actual motion.
And here's a two-part, right? And this is what we sent emails to the board about this. So EDC came before the board earlier and made a request to delay whatever our recommendation is on our motion to July 18th. So now we have a twofold motion process. Now we have to get from you guys, from the board, we have to get a vote to amend the motion to include that whatever our vote is, whatever our answer is to our motion, that it will be uploaded to the ZAP portal, which is 18 versus being uploaded within days like we normally do with any other documentation. So we get some clue?
It's clear based on what you said, the opinion, based on what Edgar said. So we are delaying the idea of uploading it into the system, but we intend to vote on the project today.
Thank you, Toby. So you're voting, well, is working on these issues. The amendment is for and that submission will include the vote.
Standing is that we at CB7, very loud.
There you go.
CB7 have done our due diligence to push this forward. Now what they're asking us for, we're voting yes, that we in favor of the project, but they want us to come back, to CB7, to come back July 17th or 18th.
That's not our process.
To not process it, sorry, to not process it until July 17th, is that the correct date?
July.
So what we're saying is, do you, CB7, want to have this carried over till July, when normally we shut everything down at June 30th?
No, so she does a clarification. So board members who go on for recess, July and August, the staff remains in the office. So the process is to vote on this to for the district manager to wait until July 18th to submit that recommendation into the board. That is not a second vote. The vote is happening tonight, and we're just they made that submission on the board.
Just for clarification, all that means is that gives the community, that gives EDC, that gives all the other agencies time for them to add to their paperwork between now and July 18th. It doesn't modify what the board says or what the board thinks. We're gonna decide that tonight. All my motion does is push the presentation of that information instead of tomorrow or the next day. We will process it on July 18th into the system. That's all that does.
What we voted on.
Why
do they want a process later than the time that it actually is?
And now they understand this earlier. They gave their information.
Right, so the explanation is very simple, very simple. So on the zoning order, right now, there is a draft environmental plan state. The joint plan goes into the United States, is the rundown purposes of the transformation station services, which also making it. Now that we move back to each one of the city agencies, so the government environmental protection. You have traffic, the Department of Transportation. And so you put all the city agencies and the city agencies that want to something. Well, you know, the traffic. The end there will be for this is not. Then you can final minutes submitted before it moves forward as the board residents off. You move forward to the planning commission. We have to vote, that's what that document would be available. The aim of the submission of the report will allow the developer to have a little bit of time to meet with all the agencies that they have to meet with to finalize that document.
But didn't they already deal with these agencies?
No, they have the parameters, they have, I'm happy to, sure, Madison.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson. Here we go. Clarification.
Hi, folks. I just want to offer a little bit of clarification. I'm kind of still. So yes, we are voting tonight. You all are voting tonight. What we're asking is that documentation be uploaded on July 18th. So for certification, which happened on May 19th, the draft environmental inputs was uploaded and it's public for everyone to review right now. But between certification and between upcoming public moments like the CPC hearing, LPC hearing, all of these important parts of the engagement process. And we're doing some refinements of that environmental review, which is typical for all users. And so I just want to make that clear that between here and now, and Joe can probably speak to this a bit better from our land use team, but we are just doing these refinements and also ensuring that within this, we are within the 60 days that the CD is allotted. So we're getting past what's within the city charter, but we're just asking for additional time till July 18th to ensure we are refining to the best of the feedback that we're receiving from the community when we've heard of the public hearings, ensuring that is included and gives us enough time to ensure being looked at by our sister agencies, by our project teams, especially on the low and variant. We're still within, the city charter provides the community board 60 days. And we're still within that 60 days, and July 18th, we'll still be within that 60 days. And it's allow for this project to move forward, and be complete the ULR process by the end of the year. And so we're still, this doesn't delay us from being off track, we are still moving forward, if that clarifies anything or I can answer any additional questions.
Question, does this mean the upload has nothing to do with our actual board members having to come back after tonight?
Exactly.
You're just doing some sort of.
Just like literally, exactly, like uploading it online and doesn't require the board, and Carla described it does not require to come back in to do some special motion or have a meeting. It just literally requires for the document to be uploaded. Tonight we'll vote, tonight is the last. And then Carla on our behalf will upload that document.
So this is just a data request? Yes. Not a physical come back for a meeting, just a plain data request. We will vote on this tonight. then she will do the upload, the data upload on July 18th.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with the board members here having to come back. Well, that's what I want to make sure everybody's.
I will not see the summer way.
Thanks very much.
Okay, first I emails out, sent out, when the original request came to the housing. Committee, and we moved it on to that, as that, there was a conversation, we talked about it in motion, and what the initial request was turned down. That motion was voted no. Therefore, we related the information to EDC as to what that was. And they've come back, said, okay, this is what we're gonna have the board think of, what we're really looking for. Now we understand that they're looking, it's pending the final environmental standard review. That's what this is about. So now we have to be, they will address it tonight. We're gonna vote on the resolution, however, their request is so therefore we have enough time to meet with all the other agencies as it is like a newer process. After the unity board, it goes to all the other agencies and then finalization.
I've got a question in the back, Madam Chair.
Adelaide?
I don't understand if things like manufacturing, drawing, transportation issues, they're not clarified until after. Why are we voting today? It doesn't make sense to me. I want to know, like, if you're manufacturing items that could cause cancer, I ask you how community, and that can be addressed before it's voted. This is my question, basically.
Just for clarification, that. Push the button. Oh, wait. Yeah. No? Better.
Girls. So just want to point of clarification, at the time of the application, entered public review was survived since report, that comes along with the draft environment. So this really is a complete document that looks at all of the various things in terms of what happens in manufacturing, where all this starts. It does all of that, but the real work between now and when the planning commission votes is to continue to work on those things, to refine them, to reflect the feedback we hear, to reflect any improvements we have to the project, and find ways to help to lessen any of the negative effects that happen. So it's not that it's not complete, it's that we continue to build on it, or the planning commission's goal. And I'd also just add one other point of clarification, why this 30 days really matters. And it has a lot to do more with not just with what we need to do, but rather how the city, how the UA clock works. So it's something that the recommendation is to me from community board really gets into the next phase of reviews, not phase of growth. And this very short window of time, in this 30 days, effectively triggers a series of other meetings. Both our president's review, planning commission review, all within a very short window of time, typically the entire process. And to the point that there is, we do have to meet with various groups of city agencies, and that is what's going to present. But we may not have to condense all of that into a very short period of time, which would potentially not allow the best possible city members.
So my question is, why can't we vote on this after you read this date and then come back with the resolution to the issue? But why would I come with something that may pose a danger to the children and the people of the community on the traffic? It's also, it should be addressed. I've been working on taking the traffic with that chair. It's going to be a nice measure. We have the same issue. They're not slowing down. We need to have that answer. We don't feel that way. So one of the others, I can't just want you. You should go in September. I don't know if it's because we have a big thing, but support you now, because the voting's coming up. I don't know if that's a push, but as a board member, you feel safe enough to vote in favor yet. because I wouldn't have the answers to those questions, easy to use. So that's just my friend, return. Thank you. Thank you, Anna.
And, with that being said, solution.
Second.
Luz Acosta, I'm going to vote no. Tasha Andrews. Betty Arce.
Yes.
Toby Buford.
Yeah.
Manjur Chaudhary.
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Thank you. Kamali Cordy.
Yes.
Alfred Grant.
Stay.
Lo Green.
Abstain.
Jean Hill.
No.
Andrew Leosa.
No.
Stephen Bogart LeBeau.
No.
Jesus Lopez Johnson.
Approves.
Edgar Ramos.
Yes.
Robin Dewan.
Not only as I'm a board member of Northwest Bronx, we are the coalition.
So that's abstaining.
She can mark herself as present. No, she can't.
Right. Esme Soto. Mamadou Salame.
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Thank you. Barbara Strong. Gwen Thomas Steve.
Abstain.
Yuleika Ventura. Adeline Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson.
No.
Bernard Wright. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Give me 1 second, I'll calculate. 4, 5, 6. All right, so not this. Security color. That's.
Two. Page 29 through 31. And the zeros. To send a letter recommending approval of the 8th Regiment Partners LLC, NYC Economic Development Corporation, in the New York City Department of Administrative Services, UNIP application to the New York City, to New York City Department of City Planning for the reconstruction to facilitate the redevelopment of the Peace Armory with the extension of house. Do I want something? Second. Any questions, discussion?
To go?
Yes.
Okay. Bostow approves. Tasha Andrews. Betty Arce. Toby Buford. Manjur Chaudhary. Kamali Corey. Alfred Grant. Lo Green.
No.
Jean Hill. Andrew Leos. Stephen Bogart LeBeau. Jesus Lopez Johnson.
Approves.
Edgar Ramos. Cruz. Robin Roman.
Myself.
Desmond Saturno. Mamadou Savane. Barbara Strong. Glenn Thomas Steve. Vega Ventura. Adeline Walker Santiago. Sorry. Thank you. Jake Wilson.
No.
Bernard Wright. I'm sorry.
Approved.
Thank you. Yahaira Arias. Okay, motion passes.
This is example. 2002-2004, and this is the salary support to the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission. And number of units. Do I have a second?
That's second.
Any questions, discussion?
Can you clarify, let me make a consideration of housing. But when you say the consideration of housing action units, is there a limited numbers to deal with or just?
When they presented about anywhere between 450 to 500 units.
It's 16 heights.
And 16 floors and heights. Do you want us to consider the height?
State that.
That's far.
But you
Blocking is all it is.
to think we want more.
Yeah, it could be.
So.
It can be interpreted.
Yeah, that is. To determine, the point that is raising is that we should be more specific. Regarding to decrease the height in the.
Right.
So maybe we should match the motion to that.
Yeah, that's all.
Question, so are we amending it to reduce the height?
Yeah.
It's right now, over shallow.
So,
the motion of the consideration, the reconsidering of the housing development, decrease in height and decrease in number of units.
Yeah.
So,
second.
Nice. Comments? Comments? We'll just bring up the fact that the city is in a housing crisis and I'm mentioning housing units are within a block of a train station, meaning that residents are, for the most part, not needed to have a car. So that's just a comment to consider from my perspective.
Thank you.
Still, we can do that on cars, so, like, are they even offering?
Sharing my comment, you can read it.
We said, but nevertheless, people still have working vehicles. Are they supplying, parking? Because that avenue is already flooded, it's congested as it is.
yes, parking, this was all part of the package that I received. And there were presentations and public hearings, Zoom.
There are
courses.
Yes.
Gentlemen, this presentation has been sent for months and they're here. That's one of the question, what's the party, with the history government and one of the answer.
How they been fifty days?
Two separate.
Yes. And correct us about 240 parking spaces will be allocated in this project.
Yeah, 248 spaces in the Brew Building, it'll be a public parking facility available to the community at large. There will be 80 parking spaces under the residential building, those will not, they're not currently meant to be accessories to residential, there is no parking required, because it's not affordable housing.
but that there will be 248 parking spaces at the.
We have designated handicap accessible spaces as well, yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, to amend the gentleman to amend the motion presented, including the consideration of decrease applicant. Decrease government.
Second.
Motion, Tasha Andrews. Betty Arce,
Approve with, be correct, the change.
Toby Buford, Andrew Charlie, Kamani Corley, Alfred Grant, Lo Green, Jean Hill,
Approve with the changes.
Khadijah, I'm sorry, Andrew Leosa. Approve. Stephen Bogart DeVoe. Approve as amended. Jesus Lopez Jensen.
No.
Edgar Ramos.
Approves with correction.
Robin Rolando. Thank you. Esme Saturlo. Mamadou Salvané. Approves with edits. Barbara Stronzer.
With the changes.
Gwen Thomas T. Zuleika Ventura. Adeline Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson.
No.
Bernard Wright.
Approve with correction.
Thank you. Motion passes. Oh, man. Haida Arias. Let's respect.
Chair. Buckets.
Good evening, everyone, come see us in September, first thing in the month. Yeah.
I'm ready for this. No meeting, you. September, the city wall, or she had been, well, it's waiting to. We can go back and say. They don't do it for the cabinet. Yeah, there's more really to say, we have a warrant. I'm still have one more, so it's discuss, what does the matter what you say? Okay, ready? I said, no, we had no meeting, but we're, it's July. Of course, yeah, and we're hoping for the only since motion E, which is what I'm gonna make it that motion, so I need to vote for the motion.
We don't know the amendment.
Yeah.
The amendment on motion. Now we're coming to motion. What was the amendment? This is, of course, we. Going on, like. So this all of the territory is huge.
He's hours. Discussion, questions?
Okay, here goes. Olisa Costa approves, Sasha Andrews, Betty Arce, Haida Arias, Toby Buford, Monjour Charlie, Kamani Corley, Alfred Grant, Lo Green, Jean Hill, Andrew Leosa, Stephen Bogart DeVoe, Jesus Lopez Jensen.
No.
So. Okay. Yes, ma'am, Satsurdo. Mamadou Savane. Barbara Strong. Gwen Thomas Lee. Yuleika Ventura. Adam Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson. Bernard Wright. Thank you. Pass.
Now we got our motions. A government hour belong to education.
Yeah, we ranked what do you call that? Sorry. We have capital and expense, and we'll see in September. Next.
Recognition. They law, they make clear. Thank you, Dad, for all the shares done. She's been an amazing share. So I just want to share what Mary just understand is, and as recommendations. I love this, I love to go about things. Then versus looking issues to address some issues. In addition to that, you put hours into the art. So it's 110 years in the room, it's real awesome. And that's why it's the accomplishments for the extension, you never know what if there's a demonstration, if there's this process to be as important, this administration has. But continue to go, it's getting done. In addition to all of those, I do want you guys to know that the e-bike exchange process for the people have, even student, the they're not for bills and gas, actually, like the TGS, something. So, they are still doing that. And I'm not sure about the barge that is in Huntsville, the mayor's in the house, and it's no longer will be the barge. You have a lot of our community has, their sons and daughters will sit there unrighteously. So it's gonna be moved, and it is going to be, way, that's gonna be, for, economic development. But it's all things that the mayor has been working with our local council office, to really get something, so we will make sure it's around. In addition to that, the mayor also, somebody called every block counts. So please, I know I don't know if it's you guys on this, but on June 21st, the first every block counts, is going to be held on 181st Street in Walton Avenue, June 21st. That's between 12 and 3. If you guys can come, please come. This is something that we're hoping that we roll out throughout the community. Well, we have our institute, or we also like how to put this in words, right? Or something that happens one, and this will be able to take place in all the communities where we're having monsters off the blocks that can work with the community more, so you know real stuff that's going on with that really fun. And once again, we're having that. And then we didn't really talk about this, and there is going to be now group program, directors of the mission quality life and harmony. There will be all of these. So we will have our own officers to deal with quality life issues that will directly see agencies to. And I just wanted to mention, I hear you, and thank you, this is what the community has made of, people coming, saying about and sharing, but it's a process. So, because the young lady was sharing about her, it's so share local LGBTs, so getting the heart of each friend, they go to their partnerships, make it commitments, value moments. But yeah, happy Summer to all of the flowers and the good job. No, see these other done wrong. Thank you guys. Anyone here move on, because we have literally less than half an hour schedule. Anyone here from the control? Anyone here from the public office? Anyone here from the Bronx County District Attorney's Office? Bronx.
Hi, everyone, you may have me. Tahira, it's been an honor working with you. We thank you for your leadership over the last 3 years. Congratulations to the new chair, executive committee. Our reappointment letters did go out. Reappointments are being made by the beginning of August. We'll do a new member orientation once again. We're into this year training for all workers as well. We did a conflict resolution training. Carla, thank you for coming. I want to thank the Veterans Committee for the centennial celebration and leaf laying last month. The borough president has a substantial amount of money for counselors and partnership with the parks and sanitation regarding illegal dumping in parks. So I would ask the board office to work with the parks team. Taking some of those completions because our parks are just literally being dumped on, driving over here from one house, taking pictures along that store. So please send that over at the end of the week and hopefully we can allocate some money to local areas and take 7. We have a bunch of events coming up. I left flyers in the back, so I'm not gonna go through all of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiara. Moving along, anyone here from Congress member Richie Torres' office? Anyone here from Congressman Adriana Spinazzi's office? Anyone here from Senator Jackson's office? Anyone here from Senator Gonzalo Jones? Anyone here from Assembly Member Mayor Santos' office? Here's from Assembly Member George Alvarez's office. Anyone here from Assembly Member Jeffrey Dinowitz's office? Anyone here from Assembly Member Jim Cadavia's office? Jack?
Jack Taylor's my chief of staff, I'll be pretty brief, the Senate, is not tonight, is the last day of the year. We had more, bills that is never able to sign, the first one, a few bills that have, one was part of the prison reform package that was introduced as part of, my response to the, drugs that bill, the camera coverage. All prison, big issue that we've seen, there's a lot of blind spots throughout a lot of the building camera coverage. And we also were able to pass a bill which is prevailing, that helped expand mortgage registry, 400 New Yorkers dying a year, which is a lot of they're able to work with things, a lot of public and registry. In terms of some of the events we're having, senior kickoff research fair on July 16th, and then we also will be having school zone in August. We're also having just further information great. And then we will continue to do our housing clinics with NIC. They provide legal assistance, so those are only they. That's 89 very great. Yeah.
To say that, Councilmember Roslin, please say.
So he actually passed a legislation. It's called the Fair Act. It's intro 0360/2024. It's introduced by, Councilmember Feliz, Chi also from Brooklyn. And the bill, well, and the bill is June 11th. It is illegal for landlords to charge rent. Every state broker fees now, so renters, no more broker fees. What is the Fair Act? Local Fair 119 of 2024, also known as the Fairness in Apartment Rental Expenses. Fair Act prohibits the landlords from passing on the prospective tenants the fee of landlords hiring agents, brokers, and requiring landlords to explicitly disclose all fees that tenants must pay to rent an apartment before tenant signs a rental agreement. Under NYC Fairness in Apartment Rental Expenses Fair Act, no one can require a tenant to pay a broker to rent an apartment. Renters can choose to hire their own broker and pay broker fees. Apartment listings must clearly state all fees a tenant must pay to a tenant. An apartment, landlords or their agents must give tenants a written itemized list of all fees they must pay before they sign a lease. Fees must include a written description. Landlords or their agents must keep the sign disclosed for 3 years and give a copy to their tenants. And renters can sue in civil court if anyone violates their rights under the Fair Act. So there you go, guys. And like they said, call 311, and then you get that 311, you call, and I'll give you the number, like, 718-842-8100, and we're located at 573 East Corner Road, entrance on Huffman Street, where we here every day, except Fridays, that we're remote, from 10 to 5. Okay, thank you, I love you, have a good summer, and congratulations. We love you, and take care, you the best, and now we heartbroken, but. Thank you. Glory to you.
Friends. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, last but not least, Councilmember Lewis, he's present, he was here for the vote. Okay, that ends our elected officials list. We're going to bring it to board members, questions and comments.
So now that the motion did not pass, the motion that we voted on that did not pass was to delay the uploading current documents. So does that mean that we will be uploading the documents as soon as possible?
Yes, ma'am. That means that Carla, and team will be uploading.
Now, good. Now, my other question. There was a concern about the environmental impact of the.
There's a draft online that everyone can take a look at. I think that was circulated by Carla. You think like 700 pages, I think it was. You go there, lengthy. But these documents will be given to all the board to review. I mean, the rights to all.
In addition to all these different times you can offer public input for our president's mentioned, our office can also be able to meet with you one-on-one or have an organization, we want to extend that. You don't have our contact info already, come to me out of the meeting if you want to discussion with you, not discuss. So more than happy to keep the conversation going, one thing to stop that question right around this.
Please, everything, call Harvard, student review, student review, chair, president. And call me, email me, text me. We do have our resource fair, this is the end of the year, it's gonna be Saturday, the 28th, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Please come out, we start running the budget. It's always a good time, kids, family, just to come on for a few hours. Bernard?
Okay, great, meeting is canceled and.
Thank you.